Hello to my viewers. Today I'm going to be talking about the 7 unwritten rules that you should follow in a Canadian federal prison. Rule number 1, do not whistle. Not only is whistling very annoying, but many of the inmates actually find it pretty insulting. And it's because this rule traces its way back to the days when Canada used to have death row. Now what happened was the guards would whistle on their way to the inmate's room right before they were executed. It's literally the last thing they hear before they die. So if you whistle, you're disrespecting the dead, and you'll probably be punched out for it, or worse, stabbed. I would suggest not whistling at all. Rule number 2, always courtesy flush. Now, what is courtesy flushing? It's flushing the toilet every time you drop a dumpling. Here is an example, okay? Watch this. Flush, flush, flush. Flush. See, every time you drop a dumpling, you flush. Even if it's just a fart, you flush, because when you flush the toilet after you fart, the gases get sucked into the whirlpool and down the drain. The reason why you need a courtesy flush is because most of the rooms share a hallway, and when you close your doors, the cells aren't completely sealed. There's like little holes in the bottom, so the smell could always leak into the common area. And that's why you need a courtesy flush, because no one wants to smell poop when they're walking down the hallways. And if they do and they know it's you, you could potentially get punched out for it. Because people get mad when they smell poop, when it's not theirs. Trust me. Anyways, on to rule number 3, which is be very quiet in the morning. Because many of the inmates like to sleep in, and many of them aren't morning people. Okay, so if you're going to talk to anyone in the hallways, try to lower your voice. And if you're going to close your cell doors, do it silently, do it gently. Do not slam it, okay? Because if you slam it, you're going to piss someone off and you'll probably get punched out for it. Like this one guy who lived next to me. He ended up with a black eye in the next 1 or 2 days because he slammed his door in the morning. Rule number 4, don't have too many conversations with the guard. Okay, you should still show them respect and you should still be friendly with them, but you shouldn't be buddies with them. Because if other inmates start seeing you spend too much time with the guard, they're all gonna start assuming that you're their snitch, and you definitely do not want that. So keep it to a minimum. Rule number 5, if someone calls you a goof, you have to fight them. Alright, so what does goof mean? It means get out or fight. Now, being called a goof in prison is probably the worst thing that you could ever be called. Because when someone calls you a goof, they're basically calling you a bitch boy. And being labeled as a bitch, it's one of the worst things to have. In fact, I think it is the worst thing to have in prison. That's why you're obligated to fight back. And now you're probably thinking to yourself, what if I don't fight after someone calls me a goof? Well, if you don't fight, no one in prison is going to associate themselves with you, because being around you will make them look bad. And you'll probably end up being bullied until you leave the prison. If you want to avoid being put in a position where you're obligated to fight, then just try not to get called a goof in the first place, which means try to get along with everybody in the prison, even the people that you dislike, because it's better to have friends than enemies, especially in prison. Rule number 6, do not challenge the guards. I know out in the real world, you're probably like, fuck the popo. But these guards are not cops. They are people who can make your life a living hell if they really, really want to. Because, they can do anything to you. They can set you up to be stabbed by spreading rumors that you're a pedophile. They can also take you somewhere where they're on cameras and beat you. They can also turn the inmates against you by punishing them for what you did. And that certainly will turn them against you, because no one likes getting in trouble for something that they didn't do. I've seen people who gotten other people in trouble, and I got in trouble too by this one black dude that was in there because he had mental problems. And what happened with him was that he ended up getting hosed down in his room. So yeah, don't challenge the guards. Now on to rule number 7, which is do not rubberneck. Now, what is rubbernecking? Rubbernecking is when you're walking down the hallway and you're looking into other people's rooms. Now, I personally think that this is hard not to do because many of the inmates actually like keeping their doors wide open, so sometimes you can't help but look. You just have to train yourself like not to stare. Rule number 8, do not cut in line. It doesn't matter if you have a buddy in the front, just walk to the back and wait your turn. Now, this is a rule that I think everyone should always follow because not only is it easy, but it's also because this is the one rule that people seem to get angry the most when it's broken. Don't break this rule. Follow all the rules that I told you above, and you will get through this, okay? I believe in you, and good luck.